Morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Tacoma. I'm so glad you decided to join us this morning. It is a very exciting day for those of you who are interested in what's going on in the NFL. At my house, we are planning on eating lots of food and sitting around, and I'm sure there'll be lots of yelling and cursing at my home. But I am not that interested in it. I do enjoy this. I do enjoy the fact that Kansas City is back in the Super Bowl because we have. I work my job at Unity Worldwide Ministries is located in Kansas City, and so tomorrow we get to go in late because of the Super Bowl. so, so that's really exciting. So we get partially a little bit of time off. And last year we got an entire day because we won. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. So if anything else, I will be rooting for them, not because I know anything about their team. I do a little bit, but because it's kind of personal. I just would like to have an extra day off. It would be super nice. All right. So welcome everybody. My name is Lori Irwin Johnson. If this is the first time you're here, I'd like to welcome you to Unity of Tacoma. If you've been here before, I'd like to welcome you as well. Thank you for joining us again. And we have a wonderful hour full of time to reflect on what we're doing here at Unity, things that we are looking forward to doing together, and some things that we may want to look at and decide whether or not it's something we want to continue. So these are really fun opportunity for us to use what we learned last week. If you missed out on what was happening last week, we used our SMART goals, and we're going to use them a little bit again today to look at our future at Unity of Tacoma. But before we go on to that, today's talk title is Unity SMART Goals for Unity of Tacoma. And so I'm looking forward to that. I have Victoria. Do you want to come up and we can open up the mic for you and we can get some announcements going. Are you available, Victoria?
I am. I'm right here.
Great.
The usual announcement to get started is that Unity of Tacoma is all online with some person-to-person events scheduled periodically. And we start at 9:15 in the morning with fellowship and prayer. And that is on the Zoom link that we receive every week, although it's the same link every time, so you don't need to go hunt for it every time. And so from 9:15 until about 9:45, we have fellowship and prayer. And following that is a 15-minute intermission. Commencing at 10 o'clock is our Sunday service, and that is recorded on YouTube for being able to view it later on. So the service is recorded, and if you speak at all, it will be on YouTube. At the end, we have a discussion time and kind of talk back about what happened in the service. That part is not recorded on YouTube. And after we finish the discussion, we move right into either breakout rooms to discuss special events or just to continue the discussion of what's going on. And that's how our Sundays look. We have some events coming up on February 23rd at 10 o'clock service. We're going to be welcoming our new members in a ceremony, which will be wonderful. And on March 16th at 11:15 after the service, we're going to be having our annual meeting. More mittens are needed more than ever for our mitten and hat project, since we're having cold and snow and stuff, which we've been pretty lucky in that score this winter, but now it's catching up with us. And we do have our Unity outreach team, which is now still working on lunches for the Unhomed of Tacoma. We're still working on finding a new location, but I believe we will be making sandwiches on the first Saturday of the month of March. And in the meantime, we're trying to coordinate working with Nativity House to do sorting of the huge load of clothing donations that they received that need to all be sorted and put out for the unhome to come in and capture. So that's the latest and greatest for us. I think that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds like the latest and greatest is pretty cool.
It is.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to start off our service with the prayer for protection. So I'm going to share that for those of you who do not know the words. Please hold on. I'm only working with one screen today. For those of you who know, in the winter time, my sunroom where my office is pretty cold. So I am now working in a different room. So let's say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is and all is well. So let's take a moment to take a breath, close our outer eyes, and just allow ourselves to settle in. And it's in this moment, this time of reflection, this time of getting silent, to getting quiet, we can start to hear what the source of all that is trying to tell us. And it's at this moment that we are opening up to a transcendence, this allowing this message to come to us, whatever it is, in whatever form that your mind and heart and soul is ready to accept. And so it's at this moment we sit and we look at and we examine what it is we want to do at Unity of Tacoma. What are we going to want to do for the future? What hasn't worked for us? What is working for us? And how can we take that into the future, into something we would like to have? So this message today will be focusing on that, allowing ourselves to look at and to be present in this moment, to be able to create what it is that we would like to create for us here as a collective at Unity of Tacoma. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be together, grateful for each and every person here, each and every person who's here present in the Zoom, those of you who are visiting outside the Zoom time, whether you're watching it on YouTube or if you've got a link that's on Facebook or wherever you received it. It is the bright and perfect time for you. And so you are welcome, and we are so grateful. So it's in this time of presence, this time of gratitude, in this time of loving and connection, that I say, and so it is. Amen. So I would like to start off our message today with reading the daily word. Now, this is something I do on occasion, and today's daily word was really nice. Now, I know that Curtis reads the daily word. Curtis, have you read the daily word today? I'm going to pull it up, so give me a second. Today's daily word is power. And I think that's a wonderful word for today. And it's not pulling up, of course. Let's try it again. I love digital stuff. I love the internet until it doesn't work. Isn't that how it goes? You know, we have these, we love it until it doesn't do what we want us to do. Today's word is power. I have the power to choose my thoughts and direct my life. Feeling my power from within means I am grounded in spiritual truth. I speak my mind with calm certainty and change my mind whenever I choose. I live in a state of inner security and mastery. If I wish to make changes, I take dominion of myself and have faith in my innate power as a spiritual being. In the past, I may have looked outside myself to feel powerful, taking on another's beliefs or affiliating with something outside of myself. Now I understand true power comes from within. I take dominion over my thoughts and feelings. I live my truth in confidence, knowing my thoughts derive from divine ideas. One with God, I have the power to create my life. Today's word again is power. And our affirmation, I have the power to choose my thoughts and direct my life. What a wonderful thought that we have power. And I think I have only used the word dominion when I'm talking about certain scripture lessons that I would use when I was teaching Sunday school. Dominion is something that is in there, I think, 1 or 2 times. And we think that dominion means that we are lording over it. That's something that we have control. And I think dominion in this case, in our own personal power, isn't just about lording over it and having this idea that we can control all, because some things we can't control. So there are things outside of us, from our environment, from our lives, from the things that are going on around us that we can't control. We can't control someone else's actions. We can't control what's happening in the environment per se, but we can have dominion or some kind of understanding of what's going on within us. And we can control how we respond. And we can control that, and we can think about that, and we can meditate on that, and we can make changes based on what we understand and what we learn from it. So dominion of our own power, we have an understanding that we can control how we respond and how we react and what actions we can take to move forward. So I'd like to talk a little bit today about how we are going to move forward at Unity of Tacoma. Now, Unity of Tacoma has been here a long time. I think it's been 1956, I believe, is the starting point, or when the building was built. I know that Unity of Tacoma has been around a little bit longer than that. They met in a building. They met in, I believe, now this is just rumor, and I'm not sure if it's true, and maybe somebody can open their mic and maybe knows, that they met prior to the building that they had before in a room above a tavern. And I'm not sure if that's true or not. Not sure if it's rumor or just a really cool story, but it sounds cool to me. And so if you don't have any place else to be and you want to come and get a good message and then maybe stay and enjoy yourself afterward, that is up to you. But what a way to encourage people. I know that there are lots of different churches and centers around the country that have created things like breweries, places that you can go to meet and to have lunch together and whatever afterwards. And I think that's an interesting thought, because I've heard stories that Unity at one point, some people would meet for a beer, and then they would go over what they learned about Unity principles, and they would take some of the books and some of the magazines and some of the Daily Word, and they would go over that in the tavern or in the restaurant or wherever they were at the time. So I think that's a really cool way to be able to meet people where they are. And I think we're at that point right now here at Unity of Tacoma. We are at a point where we are looking at meeting people where they are, because we have a different way of doing our message and getting our message out, and how to celebrate our truths. And we meet online, and we allow people to come to us from wherever they are, whether they're at home or they have a break at work, or they've decided to go to lunch somewhere and they're doing this together with other people, or they have to watch it on a different time because they can't be here on a Sunday morning. That's absolutely how we've evolved here at Unity, to be able to allow people to be where they need to be, and we meet them where they are. Now, it's traditional for people to look for their spirituality to go to a place that may be a church or a center, a spiritual center, or a synagogue or a mosque, to be able to hear the words that or the messages that they would like to hear. And we here at Unity of Tacoma used to have that as well, where people would come and visit us in our location. But we've evolved past that. We've gotten to a point at this point in our adventure on this planet that we are now meeting people where they are. And that's opened up a whole different way of communicating and being with people. And so we're going to be taking time today to see where we've been at Unity of Tacoma, what's working great for us right now. And we're going to look at what it is that we would like to do in the future. Where would we like to go? Our mission at Unity of Tacoma is to transform lives and to inspire people to make a difference. Now, the mission that we have here at Unity guides us through everything that we do. Even though you don't hear that mission all the time, it is a mission that our board says every single time we meet. We are very intentional about creating a world where we are helping to transform lives and inspiring people to make a difference. And it can help us to be able to paint a picture of where we would like to be and what we're going to be doing and how we're going to create a unity that is inspiring a community outside of us. We here at Unity are already inspired. Those of us here are here because we want to be, because we know that what the principles of unity can do for us. So when we have to meet people where they are, we are taking that information out to them. And so we can create these powerful growth experiences that allows this positivity to transcend a space, to transcend a building, to be able to go out into the world and give exactly what's needed to whomever needs it. So as we reflect on our journey, it's essential to really remember and to acknowledge all of the moments that we've had here at Unity of Tacoma, all of the things, whether those are things that may not have fully aligned with our mission and vision. Perhaps there were things that come up that didn't really work well. So those are things that we're going to think about today. We're going to reflect upon. And these instances of non-alignment, where we weren't quite where we wanted to be, doesn't mean that we failed. It means that we learned something. And every time, if we think of every opportunity where we believe that we fall short or we missed the mark, which is the true meaning of the word sin, we missed our mark. When we look at those opportunities, we see that we have this great message, a great learning opportunity for us to experience. What did we learn here? How come it didn't work? And why do we need this message now? And when we look at it that way, instead of looking at it as, oh my gosh, we failed, oh wow, we worked really hard and it didn't work out. When we start to see that these are opportunities to learn and to expand and to remember what it is that what is learning for. It is to help us to move forward in a direction that we would like to go instead of going in a direction that's not working. So when we're looking at this are what's happening, and in our meditation, we're going to go over this. When you're looking at things that didn't work at Unity, we're not looking at them as in a negative way or with any judgment. We are looking at them as ways to learn from. So what can we learn from this opportunity and how can we take it to the future? We talked a little bit about that in our new member class that we finalized this week. We talked about affirmations and denials. And oftentimes we here at Unity hear a lot of affirmation, but we don't really emphasize much of the denials. And denials are very important to the process of moving forward. We have to be able to get rid of what no longer serves us. We do it at the beginning of the year when we do our burning bowl ceremony, where we write it on a piece of paper what it is what we don't want. We write it on a piece of paper, we toss it in the burning bowl, and we allow it to burn up and to go back into the energy that is. However, it needs to be done every time we create an affirmation, because we need to get rid of what no longer serves us and create space for what it is we do want to experience. Because we can cram ourselves in our lives full of things and circumstances and activity that sometimes can gum us up and keep us from moving forward. So we need to move those things out clear out a space so we can put in what it is that we would like to put in that opportunity. So denials are important. So it's not about saying, oh, this doesn't exist. It's not that kind of denial. It says, I am releasing you. This does not serve me any longer. Thank you for your service, but it's time to move on. That is what a denial is. So we're going to be looking at that today. Also, another thing we're going to look at is celebrating our successes. What has worked here at Unity of Tacoma? Where are we? What have we done in the past? What are we doing currently that's working for us? So consider the programs and all the initiatives that we've had throughout time here at Unity, and remember what it is that worked. Again, that is also a learning opportunity, because when we're looking at things that didn't serve us, now we're looking at things that do. It allows us to keep those things that are working and to move forward into the future with them. So our community outreach programs, for example, are working really well right now. So how is that successful? Why is that successful? Let's really look at that together and let's have that conversation. See, these successes then affirm that we are on the right path, and it highlights all of that positive impact that we're having in the community. And this goes back to our affirmations. So affirmations are, of course, positive statements that help us to go forward in our own truth and to be able to be in alignment with our belief system and our mission here at Unity of Tacoma, to be able to transform lives and inspire people to make a difference. So by affirming what it is that we want, we're taking into the future what it is that we want to create. And it keeps us in that mindset. We're filling up that thing that no longer serves us with something brand new. And every time we do that, we have a different circumstance. We have new opportunities. New doors are opening to us. So this is a really good opportunity for us to look at what is working. And let's affirm what it is that we are doing and take it into the future. So to build our successes and moving forward here at Unity of Tacoma, we did this last week with our own personal goals. We did SMART goals. So SMART goals stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's talk a little bit more about that and see how that's going to work with what we're going to be doing in our meditation today and what we're going to be doing with our gathering afterwards. So we're going to be specific. So we're going to clearly define what it is that we want. So instead of saying we want to increase our community involvement, we can say something specific. So we can aim to launch a specific campaign to bring people into Unity of Tacoma. So we want to be more than just saying, I want to bring more people in. We want to include how are we going to do that. So be very specific. Measurable. We're going to establish a criteria to track progress. How do we do that? For a program where we're bringing in new people, how are we going to do that? And how do we bring them in? What is the catalyst for that? And how do we know we're doing well? So it has to be measurable. Achievable. It has to be realistic. Can we actually do what we want to do? Even though it sounds really great that we have, this, maybe we want to do something specific, but it's outside the reach of what we can do right now. So maybe we could break it down into steps instead of just one big chunk. So remember, it has to be achievable, something that we can achieve. Needs to be relevant. It needs to be aligned with our goal and our mission. So as a program of bringing people in, are we actually providing programs, ideas, things that are inspiring people to make a difference? Are we transforming those lives like we say that we are? And finally, it needs to be time-bound. We'd like to put out this infinite amount of time to say we have all of this time in the world to get it done. But the problem with the universe is, again, you have to be very specific. So when we put a time limit on it, then we get it done. The universe is like, okay, so we have 3 months, we have 6 months, we have a year, and then we can get it done. And then we become co-creators then. If we just leave it out there with no time limit, nothing to move us forward, then it just continues. We continue to work on it, but we never get to the end point. We never get to a point where we have reached our first goal, or we've reached our first section of goal. So definitely time bound. And so once we've established these goals for ourselves, it's really important to develop our steps. So it's a great thing to think when in our prosperity ideas that we affirm, we pray, we meditate, we want to be able to create what it is we want for our lives. But are we actually doing the work? Are we doing what needs to be done in order to get it done? This might involve creating a team or a committee, or outlining specific tasks that somebody or a bunch of somebodies are doing, or helping us set guidelines, or helping us monitor the progress, or something like that. So then when we do create those goals and we reach them, we can then begin to celebrate what it is that we do here at Unity of Tacoma, that we are moving forward together as a group. It is something that we did together. And it's a different thing. It used to be, spiritual centers used to be that you had a spiritual leader or you had a minister that guided and was the guiding star. And that's not much different. However, the focus has changed from what's called a minister-centric organizations to a mission-centric organization. And I think we've got to that point. And of course, we have our board and you have a spiritual leader, but the power then is transferred from the topper echelon to the bottom, to the people. Instead of us making all the decisions, then the people become the power. And I think that we at Unity of Tacoma have a really great group of people who have that power, the knowledge and understanding to do what needs to be done as an organization, so we can meet the mission that we have here at Unity to transform lives and inspire people to make a difference. So we're going to go into meditation now. I'd like you, before we start though, I'd like you to have a piece of paper. You're going to have about 6 minutes of meditation. It's going to help you get into a state where you start thinking about Unity. What is it that you want from Unity of Tacoma? And then afterwards, we're going to have about 5 minutes of reflection time on your own, while I'll have some music playing, where you'll be able to write down your notes and be able to share those later during our share time. And we'll be able to hopefully have some really great ideas. I'm sure we will. And I'm looking forward to hearing what it is that you all have to share. Does anybody have any questions before I start the meditation or anything like that? Just feel free to open up your mic if you do. All righty, so let's share. And I apologize if you can you guys hear all the traffic behind me? I have big trucks going on back and forth today on a Sunday. I don't understand it. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so let me pull up the slide. Let's take a moment to go into meditation and reflect on Unity Center of Tacoma and our spiritual center's journey, acknowledging any past misalignments, celebrating our successes, and envisioning a future aligned with our mission to transform lives and inspiring people to make a difference. So let's begin by finding a comfortable position, either seated or lying down. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. And then exhaling slowly, releasing any tension in your body. Take a few deep breaths in and out, allowing yourself to become fully present in this moment. So at this time, we're going to bring our mind to an instant where our actions or decisions or what it is that we've done here at Unity of Tacoma may not have fully aligned with our mission and vision. Without any judgment, observe these moments. Acknowledge them as part of our growth journey and understand that each misstep has provided valuable lessons and insights. Taking your attention away from the past, let's shift your focus to something more positive. I'd like you now to reflect on aspects of our spiritual center that are thriving and in harmony with our mission. Consider the programs, the initiatives, and community engagement that we have successfully used to transform lives and inspire people to make positive change. And allow ourselves a moment to feel grateful for these successes and all the effort that went into making them possible. Turn your attention now to the future. And let's envision what we aspire to create here. In this vision, remembering our SMART goals, being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So being specific, identify clear and detailed objectives that align with our mission. Next, making sure they're measurable. How will we know we're successful when we are? What will show us that? What is achievable? So are our goals realistic? And are they attainable? Consider our current resources and our capabilities of getting resources in the future. Are they relevant, these goals? Aligning them with the broader mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a difference. How do we do that? And how do we make them relevant in our community? Finally, we want to set a clear timeline. Make sure they're time-bound, that we can have these goals and know that we've reached them. Where are we going to be in 3 months, 6 months, or at the end of the year? Visualize the goals for our future coming to fruition. Imagine the positive impact on our community and the fulfillment of our mission. See the faces of those whose lives we are transforming and feeling that collective energy of inspiration as we make a difference. As we conclude this meditation, take a moment to reaffirm our commitment to these goals. And repeat after me. We acknowledge, celebrate, and commit to our mission to transform lives and inspire people to make a difference. We acknowledge, celebrate, and commit to our mission to transform lives and inspire people to make a difference. And just fully embrace the lessons from our past, celebrate our successes, and hold on to that clear vision of the future we want to have here at Unity Center of Tacoma. Together, we are on a continuous journey of growth, transformation, and inspiration. And as we come to the end of this meditation, we bring our awareness back to our bodies. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, you feel yourself becoming more and more present in this moment, feeling yourself in this body and in this room that you're in. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and carry this sense of purpose and clarity into the days ahead with Unity Center of Tacoma. All right, so I'd like you to take this opportunity to write down your thoughts, your ideas, and things that came up during the meditation. All right. So now that you've had the opportunity to go ahead and to look at all of the things that we've done here at Unity of Tacoma, all the things that we would like to do, I'd like to take this opportunity, though, right now, before we go into anything else, before we go into our portion of our message where we share. And for those of you that are online and seeing this now, you will not see this portion. But if you ever want to be part of the discussion, please come to our Zoom, to our live session on Sundays. We're available and we always have a lively discussion after our message. So please join us if you can. You can go to unityoftacoma.org and you can click the link and join it. It's the same link each and every Sunday. So for those of you who are